So in today's class, we'll be discussing about starvation and obesity. We'll start off with starvation. Now, adequate nutrition or taking nutrition in general is necessary for normal human growth and development and even to maintain normal health. Everyone has to eat. So, depending on the amount that is being eaten, um, it can sometimes be very variable upon the patient's health in the sense that some people who are eating very less, they might suffer from starvation, or they are not being provided with enough food or whatever the reason might be. And on the other hand, on the other spectrum, you will also see some people who are being overfed. So that can be a problem as well, wherein excessive nutrition is causing more problem. Now, particularly with respect to disorders of nutrition, you have obesity, there is starvation, and there is malnutrition. So even if you are eating enough amount of food, there is a chance that you might not be eating what is essential and what is necessary for your own body, because of which malnutrition might occur. So things like vitamin deficiency and all are categorized under malnutrition. To a certain extent, even lack of macronutrients or macromolecules as well, but it mostly refers to lack of micromolecules, because of which you will have various problems in your body. Now, this is mainly occurring because there is a mismatch between energy intake and energy consumption. So, if you want to maintain your body weight, let us suppose there is a healthy person who is about at a body weight of 70 kgs, example, and let us suppose their daily caloric intake for maintenance is somewhere around 2100 kilocalories per day. ठीक है. So if they are eating 2100 kilocalories or somewhere close to that every day, they will stay at this body weight. Okay, considering everything, considering their activity, their metabolic rate, their basal metabolic rate, their thermic effect, the NEAT, all of that, वो पूरा आप consider करे बाद, let's suppose if they eat 2100 calories, they are staying at 70 kgs. Now if they go under this even by a little, let us suppose they are jumping down to 2000, they will start decreasing. The body weight will eventually decrease over time. It will be more gradual. The higher the difference is, the more rapid the weight loss will be, but to a certain extent it is not exactly directly proportional. And if you increase the amount of calories that they are eating, their body weight will increase. So if there is any mismatch between energy intake and energy consumption, wherein even energy expenditure to a certain extent, there will be problems. Okay. Hence, from that term, you get both undernutrition and obesity. Now, undernutrition may be primary, wherein they are not taking food altogether, or it might be secondary, as in even if they are consuming food, it is not being absorbed inside their body. So their body is not handling the food that they are consuming properly. So undernutrition also can be two types. Obesity can be caused due to excessive nutrition or excessive storage of fat relative to energy expenditure. Even if a person is eating normal amount, the way their body is storing fat might be skewed, and it might not be normal, because of which they appear to be having higher body weight and higher they appear to have higher fat mass, even though they are eating normal number of calories for their own body weight. Okay. Now, specifically, if we talk about starvation, starvation is a condition in which there is severe deficiency in caloric energy. So, the amount of nutrients that a patient is getting, the amount of vitamins a person is consuming is very, very, very less in starvation. And as a result, there will be permanent organ damage. So, from starvation, a person can have permanent organ damage. Eventually, this might lead to death if it is not reversed, if starvation is not reversed. Now, adequate nutrition, when we talk about nutrition in general, it constitutes two different components. So they are necessary nutrients that you need to consume vitamins and minerals and macromolecules and all of that. And then there is bulk energy. So technically speaking, almost all the macromolecules that you consume, whether it is carbohydrate, fats, proteins, they will be converted into energy in one way or the other. But there are a lot of micronutrients that also play a very important part in your diet. So adequate nutrition will be a balance between both of them. If you are consuming enough amount of calories just through energy, but you are not including enough vitamins and micro minerals and all of that, there will be problems in your body. Your body will not be able to function properly. So for example, let us suppose there is a person, there are two people, let's suppose person A and person B. ठीक है, and both of them have a daily limit of eating about 2000 kilocalories per day if they want to maintain their body weight. ठीक है, let us suppose there is person A and person B, and both of them have a limit of 2000 kilocalories. Their daily maintenance calories is about 2000. So if they eat 2000, their body will remain the same. Okay, now considering person A, let us suppose this fellow eats a very well balanced diet. So it has, this fellow's diet has vegetables, it has vitamins, vegetables, fruits, XYZ, very well balanced diet. Okay, everything is well rounded. Green leafy vegetables, all of that is present, along with whatever junk also it is they are eating, but it is in a balanced form. Okay, it is not that if you are if you are eating balanced diet, it does not mean that you don't have to eat any junk food altogether, or you cannot eat sweets and things like that. It depends on how much you are eating. And then there is person B. Let us suppose this person takes all of their 2000 calories only from junk food. So they don't eat vegetables altogether or very little vegetables, and most of their, uh, let's suppose they are eating only things like cake, bread, and things like that. So without any unprocessed foods, without any natural food, they are consuming all of their calories. Over time, what will happen is there'll be a lot of problems in the person B's body. There will be obesity, because even if they are consuming the maintenance calories, what will happen is over time, because of lack of nutrition, they will be craving in their body and they will start eating more and more of that junk, leading to problems. That is why having a properly well balanced diet is very very important for maintenance of your health. Now, coming back to starvation, there are two particular conditions that will stand out if we take the same example of energy and nutrition deficiency. There is marasmus and there is kwashiorkor. Okay. Now, marasmus is a result of a diet in which there is not enough energy. So, deficient in energy. Okay. Kwashiorkor generally occurs in children who get enough amount of calories, but they're not getting enough amount of protein. So, enough calories. One second. So, I have some urgent. Okay, calories, not enough protein. Okay, so you will see a very peculiar condition in this. If you compare two children who have marasmus and kwashiorkor, let us suppose, see, so let us suppose there are two children. One is suffering from kwashiorkor and one is suffering from marasmus. Generally, both of them will be underweight, but the one who has marasmus will be severely underweight, because marasmus child में energy intake भी बहुत कम है and protein intake, everything is very less. So they are not consuming all of them in all the macronutrients and micronutrients in very very low quantity, almost nil. On the other hand, kwashiorkor mein there is enough amount of energy intake, so they are making up with different things, but the amount of protein that they are consuming is very less. So as a result, the symptoms that you see are also slightly different. Now, if you look at a child with kwashiorkor, generally they will have significant hair changes. There will be changes in their behavior. Their muscles will be very, very weak. There will be atrophy of muscles sometimes. There will be a fat present. Skin will change. You will see edema in several areas. This edema is occurring because essentially what happens is your hydrostatic pressure, which is hydrostatic and osmotic pressure आपके blood vessels में जो रहता, osmotic pressure is maintained by the proteins that are present inside your blood. If a person is consuming almost nil protein, most of the protein in your body will stay in the muscles and all. So blood में बहुत कम रहता है. As a result, what will happen is plasma will start going into the cells. ठीक है. Osmotic pressure is maintained by the presence of protein inside your blood. अगर प्रोटीन ब्लड के अंदर है तो प्लाज्मा भी प्रोटीन ब्लड के अंदर रहेगा. If there is less amounts of protein present in a person's blood, it will generally lead to plasma moving out into the tissues, and as a result edema occurs. ठीक है. Fluid accumulation around your tissues. Moon face होता because of edematous accumulation inside your face, on your face. Their expression will be distorted. On the other hand, if you look at a marasmus child, they will be severely underweight because they're not consuming enough amount of energy or nutrients. They'll generally look very, very old when compared to their age, and they'll almost look like an elderly person. Their skin will be very elderly, very, very thin muscles, no fat almost. In case there will be no, edema also in yeah, patients where they'll just be very, very, very thin. In patients who have marasmus, they also have behavioral changes and all of that. Growth will be stunted in both of these, in kwashiorkor and marasmus, but more severe stunted growth in marasmus than kwashiorkor. kwashiorkor में उतना severe नहीं रहता, but रहता उसमें भी growth retardation रहता. If you look at a marasmus child, they will generally be very skinny. If you look at a kwashiorkor child, they will have body fat and they will generally have enlarged liver. Children who have kwashiorkor, they will have an enlarged liver because fat will start getting accumulated around their liver. There will be swelling of their ankles and swelling of the tissue because of edema. All of these are problems with respect to energy and nutrient intake. You can have various other problems as well. For example, when you're discussing about vitamins, we discussed about niacin deficiency. Niacin deficiency produces pellagra. ठीक है. Diarrhea होता, skin rashes, brain dysfunction, vaginal irritation. It will be very hard to swallow. Some patients will have vitamin B1 deficiency, which will cause beriberi. A beriberi can have neurological problems, or it can have cardiological problems. Heart failure भी हो सकता, या nerve disease हो सकती. Lack of vitamin C can cause scurvy, so on and so forth. There are multiple different types of disorders because of micronutrient deficiency. Now there are medical reasons for the, if you look at the causes of why starvation is occurring, there are medical reasons and then there are circumstantial reasons. So if you look at medical reasons, let us suppose a patient has anorexia. Now, anorexia is a psychological disorder, anorexia nervosa, and bulimia nervosa. So anorexia is a condition in which now a lot of people, they will be very, very conscious of their weight, body weight, and how they look, to the point that they will start psychologically obsessing with their body weight and their body image. So जो body image issues बोलते, those are categorized under this. Now patients who have anorexia, they will not eat at all. Like they will maybe eat once a day, and the amount that they are eating is also very less. They simply refuse to eat in the with the fear that they will gain weight and they'll become fat. So that is anorexia. I'm simplifying it a lot. Okay, there's a lot of complications going on behind it, but essentially the patient will not eat altogether. Bulimia nervosa mein something similar happens, in the sense that even though they will eat, they will essentially induce vomiting in their own self, and they will vomit all the food out. Essentially, that is bulimia. In bulimia, so what happens is, let us suppose there is a person A and person B. Let us suppose this is person A and this is person B. Let us suppose A को anorexia and B को bulimia है. Now, patient who has anorexia does not eat food altogether, or they will only eat one meal per day, or maybe less. Okay, maybe they eat 1 or 2 meals in 2 days, or maybe even less, whatever it is. As much as they can avoid food, they will avoid food. Okay. Whereas bulimia nervosa, what happens is they will try to starve themselves as far as possible. At one point, what will happen is, as after a point, if you are very very hungry, you will not look at how much you are eating. So what happens is, with these people who have bulimia, for a long period of time, let us suppose they are not eating for a whole day. One day they do not eat. Okay. Then on the next day, second day, they become extremely hungry, they become starved, and they stuff their faces. They essentially eat quite a lot of food in a single sitting. And because of eating so much food, they start feeling guilt that, okay, I have eaten way too much amount of food. And more often than not, what they will do is they will try to remove that food from their body. So if you are eating food, it needs to stay in your body to get absorbed and get digested. If you are vomiting the food out, nothing will get absorbed and you will not get the nutrients. So essentially what bulimic patients do is, one of the strategies what they do is, they will induce vomiting. So if you simply take your finger and stimulate your pharyngeal area, you can cause vomiting in yourself. Generally it is very useful in case of poisoning and all, but not in this scenario. So they will induce vomiting and they will essentially vomit their food out, and again the whole process repeats. They'll starve themselves, and again they'll become very hungry, they eat too much, and again they become guilty. All of that, that's a psychological disorder. So those are anorexia and bulimia. Those two are medical conditions. Other than that, there are other causes that can lead to um, starvation. There is celiac disease like IBS, inflammatory bowel syndrome. So in some patients, as I told you, even if they are eating normal amount of food, there are certain food that will cause severe inflammation in their gut, and as a result what will happen is they will have diarrhea before their body has a chance to absorb, specifically before their intestines has a chance to absorb food. It will get removed from your body. As a result what will happen is nutrition is not reaching into your blood, and ultimately it will lead to starvation. The effects of starvation: coma can lead to starvation. If a patient is comatose, they will not be able to eat. If there is major depression, major depressive disorder जो इसको बोलते हैं, if a patient has diabetes mellitus, in that scenario also their body will be starved. This is because there is impairment in absorption of glucose in their cells. So even if they are eating normal amount of food, what happens is, because insulin is not present, either it is not present or insulin is not able to function properly, glucose stays in your blood and it is not able to enter into cells. As a result, that cell will starve. So that is another reason. Or constant vomiting, whether it is induced or whether it is a diseased condition. If there is constant vomiting, that patient will generally be subjected to starvation. Now these are medical reasons. There can be circumstantial reasons as well. Circumstantial reasons include famine. Okay, if there's an area where there is, let's suppose, war or political strife or whatever the reason is, there is no supply of food in that area, generally that area will be famine hit. Or if there is uncontrolled fasting, whether for religious reasons or for whatever reason, if they are doing it without any control, that can lead to starvation, or multiple times they are doing it. Poverty can be a very very strong cause. This is one of the main causes of starvation in throughout the world. So there are organizations like UNICEF and multiple other organizations in the world which are trying to combat this. But there are multiple areas in the world, multiple countries altogether, who are starving specifically because of a poor economy. They are not able to afford enough food, even basic food. So rice, dal, whatever you call, lentils, cereals, all of them are unaffordable to those people, and as a result of this poverty they are being starved. It might also be due to food scarcity. Food scarcity, as in, even if they have money, they are not able to access that particular food for whatever reason. ठीक है. Starvation might be due to diseases as well, as I told you earlier. So on and so forth. There can be different circumstantial and medical reasons for starvation. Now, on an average, if you look at any person who is starved, they will present certain peculiar symptoms. People who have starvation, they will be anemic. They will have anemia. Vital organs will shrink. They will literally shrink in size because of lack of nutrition. Heart, lungs, ovaries, testes, they will eventually lose their function as well. There will be chronic diarrhea in these patients. Muscle mass will be significantly reduced. Okay, they'll be very very weak. Atrophy of muscles. Body temperature will be very very low, and they will be extremely sensitive to cold. They will not be able to digest food properly because digestive juices are not being present. There'll be immunodeficiency. They will be prone to infections very easily because they're not eating. There'll be this thing, edema under their skin. They will have decreased libido, decreased sex drive. Okay. They generally be irritable. Mental concentration is hard. All of that. So there are different phases to starvation, how it occurs. So initially there are three main phases or three main stages how starvation occurs. First phase may, there is blood glucose level. So initially, let us suppose there is a person who has had dinner on, let's suppose, Monday night. Monday they had dinner. Okay. So generally by Tuesday morning, let us suppose they had dinner at about 8 p.m. Example. uh, Roughly about Tuesday, when they get up, roughly around, let's suppose, 6 7 o'clock, whenever they get up, they will generally be hungry because there's a substantial difference, almost 10 12 hour difference between their meals. So Tuesday they will be ready for breakfast. Now let us suppose they are not able to eat for whatever reason on Tuesday morning. What happens is the blood glucose levels initially, that whichever whatever blood glucose that was present, that was being maintained by what they ate. And eventually what happens is, once that has been used up, the first phase of starvation kicks in. So in first phase, what happens is, whatever glycogen that has been stored inside your body, specifically in your liver and muscles and all of that will be converted into glucose. And this glycogen store will be used in the form of energy. So all the glucose that you can get from this glycogen will be used, but this will not last for a long period of time. For a couple of hours this will work. After that, the glycogen reserves will be gone. At that point, what happens is, fatty acids will be used for energy. Now this is when second phase kicks in. This can last for several weeks. Second phase of starvation. Fats, which are the primary source of energy in this scenario, will be mobilized. Fatty acids will be broken down. Fatty acids will be metabolized, and from that, ketones are produced. Generally, whenever fatty acid is being metabolized by your liver, it will produce ketone bodies, and these ketone bodies will start accumulating in your body, and all of that. Essentially, आपका body fat level कम होने लगता. Second phase of starvation में. In third phase, now let us suppose you have been in starvation mode for several weeks, and at one point, let us suppose the amount of fat in your body has also depleted. Very very low amount of fat, the person has become very lean. That is when, and let's suppose they are still not able to access food properly or regularly. Let us suppose they are only able to eat one meal per day or two meals per day, which is like two meals which are not adequate. Let us suppose a very less quantity of food. So in third stage of starvation, what happens is, fat reserves are also depleted, and at that time, proteins are used for energy. Now you have to remember that muscle in general is a very expensive tissue for your body, in the sense that in order to maintain muscle there needs to be a certain amount of caloric intake in your body. That is why you generally see that people who are who have significant amount of muscle in their body, they generally tend to eat slightly higher amount of food. Okay. Now you can look at athletes or whoever you are looking at, they generally, people who have higher muscle mass, they will tend to eat slightly higher. That is also the reason why men generally tend to eat higher than women, because uh, simply put, as per evolution, you have higher, men generally have slightly higher amount of muscle mass, significantly higher amount of muscle mass when compared to lady. Okay, untrained in both of them. So on an average, if you look at any average man and a woman, no, the caloric intake of a man will generally be higher. This is because of protein and the muscle amount present in their body. If you are not able to provide enough amount of nutrients, your body will not be able to afford that muscle, and as a result what will happen is muscle breakdown starts to occur. Muscle is one of the largest sources of proteins in your body, and that will start to get rapidly depleted. As a result, muscle wasting will occur. Person's body weight will severely go down, and they will have other problems as well. There will be apathy, there will be listlessness, they'll not be able to concentrate, there'll be social withdrawal, their susceptibility to infectious diseases increases. Now in these scenarios, when you want to reverse starvation, it is not just enough to give food in bulk, food which is high in bulk. So what is food high in bulk? Let us suppose you are giving rice, just plain rice. That will not do. Okay. If you give that, which is something which is very high in bulk, but it does not have enough amount of protein content, you cannot reverse this process of starvation. So in that scenario, you have to give something which has low bulk or moderate amount of bulk in it, but ample amount of protein in it. So whatever source that you use, whether you use chana, dal, or whatever, whether it is a vegetarian, vegan, or non-vegetarian option that you use, you have to make sure that when you are trying to reverse this kind of starvation, you give adequate amount of protein and uh, a little amount of bulk. So whatever you give, carbohydrates से bulk create कर रही है, जैसा भी create कर रहे हैं. So that is how you essentially reverse starvation. Now on the other spectrum, if you look at it, um, now you have to make sure that when you are trying to reverse malnutrition or starvation, you have to do it very gradually. You cannot start giving the person a lot of food, because for a long time their body was not used to taking that much food, and their digestive system will not be able to take that much load. They'll not be able to tolerate that much. Fully balanced diet cannot be tolerated, and it will take some time for them to come back to normal. So you have to make sure that you're slowly easing them in. Okay. Now initially, if there are especially if there is severe starvation, you will give you'll begin with liquids, and over time you'll go to solid food. Okay, if they are like severely starved jab. On the other hand, we have obesity. Now obesity is a condition in which you are either consuming micro and macro, or sorry, micro or macro, or both, in very excessive quantities, which is causing a lot of behavioral changes, a lot of problems. High fat food, decreased activity, smoking, all of these can be attributed to obesity. Alcohol consumption, excessive alcohol consumption. Now, in general, in most clinical settings, BMI is used as a standard for measuring a person's health, at least with respect to their body weight. Now, BMI का जो formula है, what is BMI, by the way? Ever heard of BMI?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
What is
sir.
BMI?
Body mass index.
Body mass index.
Body
Yes.
mass index.
Body mass index.
Yes. So we have BMI, which is body mass index. Now this is given by the formula weight of a person in kg divided by their height in meter square. So you have to convert the person's height in meters before you can actually calculate their BMI. So let us suppose we have a 70 kg man whose height is about by the way, आप लोगों को height conversion सिखाए थे क्या क्लिनिक में, this hospital setting में कैसा करते
No,
हैं?
sir.
No,
अच्छा,
sir.
No, sir.
so
No, sir.
in India mostly we use feet and inches, right? So 1 inch is roughly around 2.54 centimeters and 1 feet is about 30.48 centimeters. So this is the conversion rate. Now let us suppose you get a man. I'll give you one example. इसको बाजू रखेंगे. Simple example so that you understand, because you will have to at one point or the other get used to these calculations. It is better that you practice it at one point or the other. Let us suppose you get a man who has a body weight of 80 kgs and whose height is about 5'10", 5 feet 10 inches. या इसको 6 बना देंगे, जान दो. For first problem ना easy calculation रहता. Let us suppose their height is 6 feet. Okay. Now they are asked to calculate the BMI. So आप पहले क्या करना, ये 6 feet जो है इसको सेंटीमीटर्स में कन्वर्ट करना. So if you want to convert 6 feet into centimeters, you will have to do 6 into 30.48 is equal to कितना था आपको, roughly around 183 centimeters आना चाहिए. 182.88 आता, is taken as 183. 183 centimeters is generally considered as 6 feet. So आपको ये point आ गया तो this is in centimeters. Bear in mind, our formula required us to convert it into meters. तो if 1 meter में कितने centimeters रहते हैं?
100, sir.
100.
100, sir. Is
चलो, thank God you know that. तो अगर मिलते नमूने, डोंट वरी, जिसको ये कन्वर्जन नहीं मालूम रहता. एनीवे 183 सेंटीमीटर्स को अगर आप मीटर्स में कन्वर्ट करना चाह रहे हैं तो 183 डिवाइडेड बाय 100, 1.83. ठीक है, दिस इज इन मीटर्स. योर जॉब इज नॉट डन येट, वी ओनली कन्वर्टेड फीट इनटू मीटर्स नाउ. अब आप क्या करते हैं, व्हेन यू कैलकुलेट BMI इज इक्वल टू weight in kgs, okay, be careful of that, divided by height in meters square is equal to, essentially height into height कर रहे हैं आप, meter square बोले तो you will do 80 divided by 1.83 into 1.83. that is how the calculation goes. ठीक है, तो if you divide this you will roughly get about 24, close to 24, 23 point चिल्लर आता. let us make it 24. ठीक है, this is an example. I'll give you another one, try to calculate that. Let us suppose you get a lady, a woman walks into a hospital with a body weight of 65 kgs and a height of 5 feet 6 inches. Calculate their BMI. Take a pen and paper and calculate and tell me क्या है. First you have to convert this into centimeters, then you have to calculate the BMI. The conversion is 1 feet is equal to 30.48 centimeters and 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. करो. Okay, what is the answer that you got? खत्म हुआ या अभी चल रहा? है? Acha, you'll have to get used to calculating faster, but essentially I'll just do that to you for those of you who are not able to finish it in time. So 5 6 को मेरे को पहले मीटर्स में कन्वर्ट करना है, तो मैं एक काम करता हूँ, पहले सेंटीमीटर्स में कन्वर्ट करता हूँ, फिर मीटर्स में कन्वर्ट करेंगे. So 5 feet है एंड 6 इंचेस है, ये दोनों को अलग भी ट्रीट कर सकते हैं आप होना तो. सो 5 feet इज इक्वल टू 5 इंटू 30.48. ठीक है, ये आपको आता रफली अराउंड 152.4 आता. एंड 6 इंचेस इज इक्वल टू 6 इंटू 2.54 इज इक्वल टू समवेयर अराउंड 15.2 आता आपको ये आंसर. ठीक है, 15.24 ऐसा चिल्ला रहा था. नाउ ऐड बोथ ऑफ दीज. So 152.4 plus 15.2 6761. ठीक है, पॉइंट यहाँ पर आ गया. सो दिस पर्सन's height in centimeters is 167 centimeters. If I want to convert it into meters, I can simply do 1.67 meters. ठीक है, 2 points से ज़्यादा लेने का there's no use in taking more than 2 points after the decimal. So 1.67 meters is their height, converting 5 6 into this thing. Generally, rule of thumb that you can remember is 5 feet 7 inches is roughly around 170 सेंटीमीटर्स. ठीक है, वहां से थोड़ा ऊपर थोड़ा नीचे आप कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं. 6 feet will be 183, 5 7 will be 170. Anyway, so if you calculate the BMI, you will get 165 divided by 1.67 into 1.67. इनका BMI somewhere around 23 आता, 23.3 आता. ठीक है, there's no units for BMI. Technically आप kg per meter square ले रहे हैं, but you can use that as well. So kg per meter square is your BMI के unit, because literally you are doing kilograms by meter into meter, hence per meter square. ठीक है, so that is your answer. Now you, as you keep practicing, you will get better. ठीक है. Anyway, now BMI is generally used as a measure for a person's health when you come into when they come into a clinic. Now I wouldn't say it is fairly accurate, but you can get a general idea at least, because people who tend to have a higher bone mass or people who have higher muscle mass, उनका BMI high रहता even if they are healthy. ठीक है, so as per BMI, if you look at the chart of BMI, and if you look at the classification, people who have less than 18.5 BMI, they are underweight. Underweight. 18.5 to 24.9 is considered normal for both men and women. Okay, 25 to 29 or 29.9 ले लो आप, is overweight. Then 30 to 34.5 is class 1 obesity. 35 to 40 is class 2 obesity. Over 40 will be morbid obesity or class 3 obesity. Now on an average, I would say people who fall under this is your average ideal person. But if there are people who are, let's suppose, athletes and all, wo log, there is a good chance that they will fall under this, even if they are very healthy and they are very lean, because they have higher muscle mass. Now BMI will not differentiate between muscle mass and fat mass. Even if they have lower fat mass but they have higher muscle mass, muscle weighs more than fat, तो उनका body weight naturally ज़्यादा रहता, does not mean that they are overweight. Technically by BMI standards they are overweight, but they might not be. They are just having more amount of muscle. So even if they are like 26, 27, by this classification they are considered overweight, but they are healthy. So even though it is not like a very accurate one, it is still fair. If someone's BMI is like 30, 30 plus or 34, jab definitely they are overweight. Okay, even if you have significant muscle mass, utna zyada nahi rehta ki they go into 30s and 34s. Okay, so that is one way through which BMI is used in clinics and all, in a hospital setting or in a healthcare setting to assess the patient's health. Now, obesity itself can be of two different types. They can be immediate causes of obesity. For example, immediate causes mein aata overfeeding. So there are immediate causes, okay, and there are pathological causes. Immediate causes may overfeeding, gluttony, less physical activity. Let us suppose it can also be because of endocrine dysfunction. All of these come under immediate causes. Pathological causes generally include a problem in a patient's fat cells. तो जो adipose tissue है patient का, there might be a hyperplastic change or a hypertrophic change. What do these terms mean? Hyperplasia means increase in the this thing, increase in the number of tissues. ठीक है, एक अगर सेल है तो ये नंबर ऑफ सेल इंक्रीज हो रहा, तो ओवरऑल जो साइज है वो पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गन का या वो पर्टिकुलर टिश्यू का वो साइज बढ़ जा रहा, एसेंशियली वेट इज ऑल्सो इंक्रीजिंग. तो हाइपरप्लेशिया में क्या होता, if there is hyperplastic disorder, if a patient has adipose hyperplastic disorder, उसके उनके अंदर adipose tissue का नंबर बहुत बढ़ने लगता, even though they are eating normal amount of food and all of that. Think of it like cancer, almost like cancer. It is not exactly cancer, there are some genetic problems, but essentially the number of fat cells in their body is dividing way too much. Hypertrophic change में क्या हो रहा, सेल का साइज बढ़ जा रहा, इसमें भी वेट बढ़ता, but there is a typical change in hypertrophic type of problems. There is increase in only in cell size, there is no change in the number. ठीक है, and more often than not hyperplastic change जो है, you will see fat deposition in periphery as well as in central plane. तो आपके heart, आपका organs and all वो पूरे इफेक्ट होते हैं along with the periphery. So skin के अंदर भी under your skin there'll be a lot of fat that is getting deposited. Hypertrophic change is mostly only central. ठीक है, it will not be peripheral as much. So आपके पेरिफेरी में उतना ज्यादा फैट डेपोजिशन नहीं होता, बट सेंट्रल ऑर्गन्स पे होता इन हाइपरट्रोफिक चेंज. हाइपरप्लास्टिक चेंज में एडिपोस टिश्यू इज सिंपली डिवाइडिंग एंड there are more number of cells throughout your body. So those are two different types of obesities. Now there can be various different causes of obesities. There can be genetic influence, physiological influence, metabolic disorders हो सकते हैं like diabetes and all. Physiological उसमें आता आपका physiological में mainly one of the main types is caloric intake. You are increasing your caloric intake, overeating. Post menopausal women में generally body weight increase होता, pregnancy में body weight increase होता, oral contraceptive if you are taking for a long period of time उसमें increase होता. Sometimes it might be certain endocrinological disorders. ठीक है, hypothyroidism है, Cushing's disease है, all of those. ठीक है, hypoparathyroidism है, acromegaly है, all of these can lead to obesity sometimes. And there will be very typical clinical features in patients who have obesity. They will have, in obesity, the signs and symptoms they show is generally fatigue. They'll get tired very easily, they'll not be able to exert themselves. There will be symptoms, typical symptoms of hypoglycemia. रिएक्टिव हाइपोग्लाइसीमिया के जो सिम्टम्स रहते हैं वो होने लगते हैं, पेशेंट को वीकनेस, पैल्पिटेशन, स्वेटिंग, इट इज ऑफन सीन. ठीक है, अदर देन दैट they might have behavioral changes, in patients who have obesity, they will have a lot of this thing stretch marks hone lagte hain. If they really have obesity and severe obesity, morbid obesity hai, to they will have complications. So other diseases might also occur, like diabetes, cardiovascular disorders, liver diseases, skin disorders, metabolic disorders ho sakte hain, gynecological disorders ho sakte hain. So all of that, ठीक है. All of these are complications and signs of obesity. Now, if you want to reverse obesity, it should be done in a very gradual manner. You cannot simply reverse obesity as is. It will take sometimes months, sometimes years altogether. And it needs to be a very gradual process if you want to keep that weight off your body. Okay, so it will include changes in your lifestyle. It will include behavior therapy changes as well, because the mindset that you actually that got you to that point needs to be reversed. Even if you just simply stop eating food, it will not work if you're not changing your mindset. Like, you have to look at food as only nutrition rather than just, आप time pass के लिए खाते जा रहे. That is what got you to obesity, things like that. So uh, in in certain scenarios, if the patient is morbidly obese and they are about to die and things like that, you will get certain drugs as well that you can use. But generally those drugs are only used along with dietary changes and lifestyle changes. Without lifestyle modification and dietary therapy, you cannot exactly do that. In dietary therapy also, you have to make sure that you are consuming food under your caloric intake. So let us suppose a person weighs about 80 kilos. For their body weight, let us suppose they are overweight, for example. Let's suppose their normal body weight should be around 65 and उनका body weight 80 के around आ रहा. So if they want to get down to 65, let us suppose to maintain their body weight at 80 kilograms, they were eating about 2500 calories per day. ठीक है. अब मोटे रहने के लिए at 80 kgs they were eating about 2500. It does not mean that everyone who weighs 80 kgs is fat. Okay, I'm only giving you an example here. It will be very different if you look at, depending on their body structure, depending on their muscle mass. 80 kg can either be very very lean or it can be very very fat, depends on who it is. Okay, so I'm just giving you an example. Let us suppose this person was eating about 2500 calories per day to maintain their body weight at 80. Now if they want to get back to 65, rather than drastically decreasing their caloric intake, small caloric deficit, about 200 calories, 200 300 calories या maximum 500 calories का भी कर सकते हैं, but that will be a little aggressive. So let's suppose 300 calories का कर रहे, 200 2200 किलो कैलोरीज कम खा रहे. So what does 300 calories क्या रहता? For example, let us suppose they are avoiding 2 cups of tea per day. Example, I'm giving you an example, or anything you can calculate it yourself. There are a lot of food that you will not mind, and they'll be very calorie dense. So वो खाते, it'll look small, but it'll have a lot of calories and things like that, especially processed food, fried food, things like that. So thoda, it does not mean that they will cut off everything, and you can eat whatever you want to. It again depends on how much you are eating. And generally when you are trying to lose weight, it is advisable that you increase your protein intake. If protein intake is high, मसल वेस्टिंग विल नॉट अकर, क्योंकि आपकी बॉडी क्या सोचती है, खाना नहीं मिल रहा तो जहां से भी एनर्जी ले सकते हैं ले लो. सो देर इज अ चांस दैट मसल वेस्टिंग माइट अकर टू अ सर्टन एक्सटेंट. टू so to avoid that, you will increase your protein intake but you will decrease your total calorie intake, so on and so forth. There are various things that you can do. You can consult a nutritionist and all. There are multiple things that you can do in this regard. Increasing your physical activity might work to a certain extent as well, especially in improving your behavior and all of that. So generally moderate levels of physical activity is advised for people who are obese. 30 to 45 minutes of moderate activity. So moderate physical activity might be brisk walking or things like that. Not jogging and all, maybe cycling at a medium pace, and walking brisk, all of that. Maybe swimming if they like to, or maybe a particular sport that they are interested in, whatever sport that might be. Nothing too intense, but let us suppose even if they are playing tennis, it can be played moderately as well. If they are doing it 3 to 5 days a week, if they are consistently doing it over a period of time, they should be able to decrease their body weight. So that is about starvation and obesity. So that completes the chapter of starvation and obesity. Tomorrow we'll look at functional आई थिंक आप लोगों को यूरिन एंड ऑल यूरिन फंक्शन टेस्ट एंड लिवर एंड किडनी है, सो लुक एट दैट.